Good morning. It's day 11. What the date is? Do we know what date it is?
Possibly, I don't know, 7th maybe.
Something.
7th or the 8th.
Still August. Good morning.
Good morning.
We've been walking for about an hour. It's 6:53 up there. 6:53. We left early. We've got a 30 today, bit of a longie. It's going to be hot.
Oh no, it's just another one.
Get lost. There's a lot of that about. So, yeah, walking the countryside. Been walking for about an hour. We're making good time. So that's what I have to say for that at the moment. Sunflowers. We love sunflowers. Look at them. They're all looking at us.
Sunflowers.
They're all staring. Hello. Hello. Wave at the sunflowers. They're all staring at us. All their little faces. Aren't they fabulous? They're great. I love them. That's Suzanne passing. That town is where we're headed. Not for today, but we've done 10k so far. It's 8:30. We're walking a little bit slowly, about 3k. Lucky. Yeah, about 3k now, maybe 3.5. It's a bit slow today. Taking it casually. But we'll go up behind that town into the forest, and it's a really nice forest walk. So we're very much looking forward to that. The sun is kind of trapped behind a whole bank of cloud. But it will clear that because the rest of the sky is clear. So we're kind of walking casually whilst we have the opportunity. Probably should walk more quickly. Look at the size of it. It's massive. Anyway, there you go. This couple up ahead of us, a mother and daughter from England. The mother on the left is 81, and they're hammering along. They're doing really, really well. Terribly impressed with them. So Suzanne having a little bit of a chit chat. We so rarely make the time to speak with people, so I'm going to sort of allow her to have a yak. Some nice people, they're really lovely. Without pressing her to move a little more quickly, because I'm a bully. So how far we done, darling?
We have done about 11 kilometres, 11 and a half kilometres.
11 and a half kilometres.
Yes. We're on a very quiet part of the Camino at the moment, with mostly long lorries going by.
So
It's a bit like Only High Street.
It's only 11 and a half, 12, and how far have we got to go? 18k. How do you feel about it?
I feel alright actually. I feel strangely okay. It's a bit cooler today, so I feel alright. We've got a big uphill coming our way through the forest, but it's alright, it's doable.
We're fighting fit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The climb out of Villafranca is actually really steep. How's that climb, darling?
Okay.
Steep?
Yeah, steep.
We're almost on the flat now. So, but it's very pretty, as always, when you climb. We've crested the first hill, we're now walking down the hill, and we're going to go over the top of that thing. As you can see, the path opposite, so we're going down now. It's 10:05 in the morning, the sun isn't killing us, so it's quite pleasant. Having a good day. Hello everybody. I was saying hello, it's really weird, isn't it? Stop saying them. There's something been brewing in me for, I don't know, 4 days I suppose. And I would like to share it. This is my personal video log, therefore I'd like to put it on it. But it's also, public. So, and it's a little bit personal. And I don't want to sound preachy or make political statements or sound embittered or anything like that, because it isn't really that. It's an observation about myself within society, let's say that way. So I'm going to sort of jump into it. The other day I saw we were in a bar and I saw a man playing with his children. He had 3 boys and there was some sort of, rough and tumble sort of thing going on, and it was lovely to see. It was lovely, and it always makes me a little tearful to see such things. It always makes me tearful to see decent men doing decent things, whether it be charitable work, whether it be playing with their children. The decency of males always makes me a little tearful, and there are multiple reasons for this, but I would like to sort of approach one. If someone's to really ask me whether I identify as being man or male, this question has a little bit of complexity to it for me, because let's say someone says to me, do I believe in God? I've been asked this question before, do I believe in God? As a therapist, people want to know where you are, where you're at sometimes, and I'm happy to answer questions about myself, because often therapists say, don't answer questions or talk about yourself because it has to be about the client. But I have an issue with that, because the questions in the client's head, that's just mud. The question's in the client's head, and if you don't answer it, it remains in the client's head. So I have a tendency to answer the question as best I can, but also then want to know why the question was asked, because that's the important bit. My answer is of no consequence, really. They ask for a reason. I answer the question because I don't want to be seen as churlish, and I just want to sort of get that out of the way, and then let's get on to the interesting bit with why the person has asked the question. But anyway, so I get asked, do I believe in God? And this is an interesting question, because there's another question, what do you mean by God? Now, each person has their own view, dependent on race, religion, experience, thoughts, processes, whatever, what they think God is. Pardon me. So there's a slight difficulty in that, so I can't really answer the question straight. So I have a tendency to say, well, depends on what you mean by God. If you mean some big white dude sitting on a cloud with a big fluffy beard and a white robe, no. If you think that God is this person dispensing justice and lightning bolts and punishing people and all of that, then no. So my answer is generally dependent on what they mean by the word God. Now, this also relates to manness, masculinity, etc, etc, etc. And I don't identify with male masculinity, manness, whatever, as it is presented in society. I just don't. And I never really have, not since I was young, because I don't like it. I don't like the presentation, the idea, buen camino, that people have about men and what they are, and the reason for this is, since I suppose the 70s, the idea of maleness, masculinity, whatever that is, has been hijacked and polarised by a group of people within society. Let's not get into who or what they are, I'm not interested. And it has distorted society's view. And therefore, when, say, for example, and this has happened a number of times, I have a client or a friend who is transitioning their gender. I've been asking in the past, would I sort of offer some sort of masculine support to this process and help them on the way? And my answer to this has been, no, I can't do that, because I don't identify that way, and I don't. So off they trot to find someone who does. And it goes like this. I suppose since the 70s, this idea of negative masculinity has been promoted, along with what is the word? I'm a lot, and I should edit this out. Androgyny, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, androgyny, you know, Bowie and all that lot. Lots of androgynous stuff going on there, and at the same time a mass attack on what it is to be male. Now what's interesting about that is masculinity, maleness, fatherhood, blah blah. These are archetypes. They're fundamental. Yeah, anybody who denies archetypes is just an idiot. I mean, I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. If you think archetypes don't exist, you're an idiot. An archetype, just so we don't get it clear, I think I've already said this in previous video I have, is a universal idea that crosses cultures and things like that. But anyway, so these ideas exist. But an archetype is two-sided. There's the benevolent and the malevolent side. So, you know, the archetype of masculinity has two sides, the benevolent and the malevolent. And a certain group of nameless individuals has hijacked the idea of masculinity, maleness, fatherhood, and just presented it as one side, the malevolent side, the tyrannical side, and then presented the femininity as one-sided also, and obviously it is also two-sided, as being, you know, the nurturer, the loving mother, that whole thing. Neither of which are true. They're not one-sided. But then, if this is the view society has, and so the view of maleness in society is this polarised view, I don't want anything to do with it. Yeah, and I kind of abandoned it in my early teens, you know, decade. And I suppose these days you would call me transgender, or no gender, or agender, however you want to word that, because, you know, I'm just not interested. I'm not that. So, you know, if male is this polarised thing, I'm not that. And it just saddens me. It just leaves me feeling bereft, because it leaves me nowhere. And it's just sad. And I look around and I see lots of men, yeah, and they're kind of just lost, because who wants to be, you know, the worst of whatever it is that you can be? It hardly inspires you, does it? So you say, I'm a man, and therefore you are responsible for murder, rape, war, you know, all the negative crap in the world. Well, great and fabulous, and thank you for that. Whoever did this, the people that promote these nonsense ideas and have enshrined them in our culture, I'm talking, you know, British culture, American culture, you know, these cultures, thank you. Well done, because it has improved a culture and society no end. So yeah, it just saddens me. So when I see a father playing with his children and expressing the beauty of what it is to be a man, I just think, wow, you know, it does exist. It is a real thing. It's not a fiction. And every time I see it, it just brings a tear to my eye to see it. And I see it a lot, and every time I see it, it brings a tear to my eye. You know, people doing decent things, men doing decent things, because men are decent. Yes? You know, so anyway, didn't want to turn into a political tirade or anything like that, but it just saddens me, that's all. It's just, you know, this is my vlog, and it's just a sad thing for me. So maybe by speaking it out, it will just disappear, I don't know. But it is a sadness in my life. So there you go.